I started this when it was not trendy, so I felt very alone when I started this journey. And now I love that so many people are coming out, many different chefs, and it's just wonderful to see the growth over the years. And I'm here to just plant some seeds. I feel like it's important to plant a seed, and then it's up to you if you want to let it grow. You know, if you want to feed it. What changed my life is, what helped change my life is adapting the cleanses. I am big on cleansing twice a year. Your body is like a car. You gotta keep up with its maintenance, right? And I realized over the years, living here in America, this country is too stressful. And they got us like on autopilot. And they got us thinking that our health is last. And you know, we gotta be on survival mode, we gotta pay bills, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta do this. And we don't really pay attention to ourselves until we're in our deathbed, until we're rushed to the hospital. And it kills me, because why do we take care of ourselves last? Right? So I'm here to help pivot things. And I've also realized that being a woman is a delicacy, it's an honor, because we bring life to earth. And a lot of women in this time are also working we're working extra hard to keep up our families, keep up the bills, keep up marriages. I mean, the list goes on, right? And I've also learned that the nervous system is different compared to a man and a woman. But regardless if you're a man or a woman, regardless, eating clean, eating from the earth will change your life. And adopting an alkaline lifestyle really just means living life with intention. When you start adapting an alkaline lifestyle, it forces you to think. And America doesn't want you to think. They just want you to go, 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 go. If you go to the markets, any food market, we're so used to just reading the labels, but we don't stop and read what's behind the label. They got us used to just believing what's on the title, but it's not real most of the time. You could, even with water nowadays, now they just slap an alkaline label on the front, and you think it's alkaline, but it's not. Real alkaline water comes from earth, spring water. So if you read the back, it will tell you if it's real spring water or recycled water. A lot of us are drinking recycled water. Little details like that will take you a lot farther than just being on the go, 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 go. And also, disease not only comes from chronic illness, it also comes from stress. That's something that I've been experiencing myself, because I'm the oldest in my family, first generation in America. So I've been a workaholic most of my life. I've had 3-4 jobs, and I've always put my health last. And I'm 34 now, but when I was in college, I had like 3-4 jobs, and I depended heavily on my chickens, $1 burritos from Safeway, every fast food chain, right? It's quick, it's dependable. And the more I dig into history, I realize that they got us in this rat race, in this trap. And a lot of us don't want to realize that. And we are, this country has, how do I put this? Everything that we've taught has been a lie. So the easiest way to adapt an alkaline lifestyle is to start fresh. Everything you know is probably not true. So we got to start taking things with a grain of salt. And also realizing that the powers that be don't see you as humans. They see you as stock. They see you as money. They see you as a puppet. This country is rich off sick people. If the medical industry fails, this country, there's no more. This country is rich because of sick people. And if you ever go to the hospital, you're never going to get cured. You're always going to get prescribed medication. And then when that stops working, guess what they're going to do next? They're going to bring up the dose. They're going to make that stronger. Because their job is not to cure the root of the problem. Their job is to keep you sick and still coming back because they get paid the more sick people walk in that door. Now, I come from a family, very old school, where if anybody gets sick at home, we go straight to our holistic doctor. And we rely heavily on plants, herbs, and that's how I learned to heal whenever anybody got sick in my family. But ever since living in America, we pivoted to, no, let's go to the hospital, let's go to the doctor. And then people should stay sick. And then also you got to realize that we're an experiment to them at the end of the day. So as long as you comply, as long as you give them the okay, as long as you sign that waiver, they're going to start experimenting on you. And the first thing is, oh, let's go under the knife. Let's do this, let's do that. Let's take your organs out. Let's take this out. They just want to take. They're not here to heal you or cure you. Again, this country gets rich off people being sick and staying sick. Another thing too, excuse me, before the lands got colonized, our ancestors were not sick. They relied heavily on what earth brought, right? And when they got colonized, unfortunately, the knowledge got wiped out. Our gifts got wiped out. But it's in our blood to heal ourselves. It's our birth-given right to heal ourselves. It's in us. We just don't know it yet. So when we start looking within, you realize it was always in us. They can try to wipe out knowledge, they can try to wipe out the trees, everything, but when you know the truth, you do better. And they've been working decades for keeping us blind, keeping us sick, and we're still here, and now there's people still fighting for the truth, fighting for a better life. And the more I look into history, the more I learn, I realize it's not that hard. We think it's hard because they made us think and believe that it's hard, but it's not. All we need is a reset. All we need is just one day saying, you know what? Today's gonna be different. Let me throw everything out that's in this fridge and this shelf. Let me start fresh. Let me start with parasite plants. Now we got naturally herbs. We got other people providing herbs that we are not taking advantage of. What's the excuse now? We have the internet. Knowledge is there. Back then, the excuse for my parents is, oh, I don't have education. I only went up to 6th grade, so I know nothing. There was no internet back then. I couldn't even afford a book. What's the excuse now? That's my question. There's none. Everyone has the internet in their hands. We can all walk to a library. We can all connect around the world. So it's up to us to continue feeding each other the truth. I've dealt with a lot of different sickness throughout my life, and one thing that I was dealing with before I went Akalain, I had a lot of gas problems. My menstrual cycle was very long. I used to bleed for like up to a week, almost a week and a half sometimes. If you're not a woman, you'll never know, you will never understand. But as a woman, I'm sure you feel me. And one thing that I noticed as I was getting older is that my pain was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I went from taking 1 Advil pill to 6 Advil pills a day because of the pain. My best friend, she was getting prescribed very strong medications from her doctor because of her pain. So I was like, man, did God really put us on this earth to just depend on pills and stuff and like be in pain? Ain't no way. How is it a woman always going through this pain? Like, I don't think it's fair. When I transitioned Akalain and I did my cleanse, the first thing that I saw different, that changed was my cycle. It went from a week and a half to 3-4 days. I get no pain. I haven't touched an agro pill since I went Akalain. And there's so much freedom, especially being a woman, when you're not in pain in your cycle. Because when you're in your cycle, you lose more iron, you lose more minerals, you're tired. We are supposed to rest and restore, but we don't do that, right? So going on a cleanse, removing toxics and parasites really changed my life, and that made me be like, nah, I'm gonna do this. Because I know how it feels to be in pain and not be in pain, and I'm gonna not be in pain. And I wanna live long, I wanna live strong, I don't wanna keep checking myself in the hospital. Plus, every time I did go, I was misdiagnosed. And last time I went, I remember the doctor was Googling my symptoms. I'm like, girl, I can do that myself. Why am I here? And she said, you know what, it sounds like you got this, I'm not prescribing this. I'm like, I definitely want to tell her, kiss my ass, I ain't taking nothing. Let me go figure this out myself, because this makes no sense. Like, you're supposed to know what I don't know, but then now you're searching what I can search myself. So that's one thing that completely changed my life. I'm like, wow, I have no more pain. And also, back then, as a woman, we usually get signs that, our cycle is coming, right? Some of us get pain in the back, legs, stomach, headaches. To not go through that is so liberating. Like, now I don't even feel it coming. I'm like, oh my God, I have it today. Damn, I didn't even feel it coming this time. And then you're supposed to shed a lot your first 2 days, like third, fourth, you're done. That is how it's supposed to be. We're not meant to be losing so much iron and minerals every month. We lose a lot every month. We're not supposed to be bleeding that much, right? Another thing too, my energy levels went up. I mean, I'm already an energetic person, naturally, okay? But I definitely became lighter, clear, and it's just a beautiful feeling when you go on your first cleanse and you see the difference. You're like, wow, this is all it takes. And unfortunately, this country got us to thinking that, oh, I should really go cut a leg or cut this or remove this, but then you're dealing with the side effects. And then you're never really 100. You're dependent on the system. So adapting an Akalain lifestyle truly gives you freedom. Freedom that a lot of us are unknown to. Freedom that we think is impossible, but it's not, it's there. And all it takes is just one decision of, you know what, today, I'm gonna start my healing journey. Let me start researching. Let me ask questions, let me get on my first cleanse, right? And I always recommend cleansing twice a year again. Because it's just like a car, you do your oil changes twice a year, right? And you can skip the oil change, but your car's gonna break down eventually, right? It don't matter how much gas you put in there. Same thing with your body. You can continue eating, but if you're not doing a cleanse, you're setting up yourself for failure. Another thing too, we are being attacked every day. Not only through the food, through the water, and the air. They're constantly throwing toxins and chemicals. Because again, they know that a lot of us are waking up and they can't afford for us to gain our own freedom and our own will to think. They need to keep us dependent of them. So adapting an Akalain lifestyle has so much more benefits than just being healthy. You gain a sense of freedom, you gain a sense of control. You're you again, without all of these setbacks. And I've had family members in my own family be In the past, we have cured them from cancer, diabetes, just from doing a fruit cleanse. A juice cleanse. Not even a parasitic cleanse. It was just straight fruit juice. So when you give your body a break from the system, from this processed food, your body starts to remember again and starts to heal. Another thing too that you gotta keep in mind, your human body was made to keep you alive. So your body is fighting every single day to keep you alive. Your body's job is to fight disease, is to keep you up every single day. But the body has a limit. So the more you push it, your body's gonna crash down eventually. But your body is here to restore you. It's here to hold your spirit, who you are. So if you're not taking care of your body, aside from your mental side, your spirit side, you will never be one. You're always gonna feel separated. So living with intention, not only to your inner self, but to your physical body, really does wonders. It takes you so much farther in life. And I've learned the hard way that stress is also a disease. So you could be eating all the alkaline foods, all the herbs, but your body will not absorb when you're under stress. I recently went through that. My body crashed. I was like, why am I crashing? I'm eating everything. Like, this is all I eat, you know what I mean? And I realized, wow, your body can't even absorb when it's under stress. And, stress looks different for everybody. And one of the things that I was doing is I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't really, I was staying up all night, doing my business and cooking and getting because I'm an Akalain chef. But I realized that your body does its most healing when it's sleeping. That's the restore time. So it's all balance. It's all about eating right during the day, getting your vitamin D through the sun, get grounded, touch some grass, be in good energy, right? Be around good people, and then going to sleep. Literally, going to sleep, not staying up all night. So that when you're sleeping, your body can start doing its job and start restoring it, absorb all the minerals that you did take throughout the day. And so a lot of people like to challenge me by saying, well, our ancestors ate meat and they were healthy. Okay, let me dive into that. And I dove into that. And it comes to find out that first, they were not eating meat every day. They were eating meat on seasonal terms. And they were not eating the meat that people are eating today. You're not even eating real meat. You're eating hybrid animals. Our ancestors were eating wild animals and they were eating lean meat, but by the season. And the reason why they were able to stay healthy is because they had a strong immune system, so they were able to break down the meat and the parasites. But our immune system is so weak today that we don't process anything anymore. And that's why the parasites are like going everywhere in our bodies. Our immune system is so weak they can't even kill the parasites. And that's what the body's number one job is, to keep you safe and healthy by killing what's not meant to be here. But our immune systems are so weak, it can't even fight for us anymore. And why has it become so weak? Because we're not getting the minerals that we're supposed to really take for our immune system to be strong. Back then, our ancestors, they were literally barefoot. And by being barefoot, you get a lot of B12 through your feet. And we wear shoes every day. How many times do you even touch grass nowadays? Hardly ever, right? And that's why kids are stronger, because they're usually running around barefoot, right? They don't get sick. Then you get older and you start getting sick. What's happening? So we are so out of touch with simple things nowadays. And they got us in this ongoing machine to feed their agenda, their system. And we really just got to separate it from thing and adapt an alkaline lifestyle. And adapting an alkaline lifestyle is, again, being intentional and starting to think. And it's just easy. It's eating from what the earth gave us. Earth gave us everything that we need to heal and eat correctly and just have the best nutrition. And my last piece is, as I was diving into history, I realized that everything changed when this country decided to go to war. And back in the days, they shifted from natural growing foods, farming, all of that, to factory process because they needed to feed the soldiers at war. And they were feeding them shit. They weren't even feeding them real good food. But what happened after the war was done, they kept that going and they implemented that back into society. So now they got us dependent, thinking like that's the way to be. But it's all a money-making machine. So it's really a choice. Do you want to continue being a victim to the system, a rat to the system, or do you want to gain your own freedom? Do you want to regain your power? And you get your power back when you start eating correctly. So those are all my seeds that I wanted to plant in your brains today. And it's really about reach one, teach one. Or how do I say that? Reach one, teach one. So that's what I'm here. And that's what inspired me to be a chef. And inspire people to eat clean and show you that it is possible to change your life and get back in the kitchen how God intended us to be, So that's my piece.